All right, let's dive in. Today, we're looking at a project that's been making some serious waves, Anoma. So the big question on everyone's mind is, what is this thing, really? And why do people keep saying it's a revolutionary step forward for the entire crypto space? Well, to get that, we've got to start with the problem it's trying to fix.
Look, I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, great, another blockchain, right? It feels like every single week there's a new layer 1 or layer 2 popping up. And honestly, you start to get this chain fatigue. But what if the answer isn't another chain at all? What if it's something totally different?
To really wrap our heads around Anoma, we have to see the world a bit like its founders do. And right now, the crypto ecosystem is kind of like a giant, sprawling labyrinth. It's got all this amazing potential, but man, is it fragmented.
Think about it. Every time a new chain launches, even if it's got cool tech, it just adds another layer of complexity. Suddenly we have more fragmentation, new programming languages to learn, another wallet we have to install. It just makes building things, and actually using them, a huge headache for everyone involved.
Okay, so this is where Anoma steps onto the stage. But it is so important to get this next part. Anoma isn't trying to be just another piece in this big, messy puzzle. It's proposing a completely new paradigm, a whole new way of thinking about how all these separate pieces should actually fit together.
So what is it exactly? The best way to think about Anoma is as a kind of universal operating system for crypto. It's not trying to compete with Ethereum or Solana. No, not at all. Instead, it's a layer that sits on top of all of them, almost like a blanket, connecting everything to create one unified, seamless experience. Anoma's whole job is to take care of the messy, complicated stuff in the background, which you could call the invisible plumbing. You know, things like consensus, bridging between all those different chains, final settlement. By handling all of that, it lets developers finally focus on what they're actually good at, building cool apps.
So how in the world does Anoma pull this off? Well, the magic here, the core innovation, completely flips the script on how we've been interacting with blockchains. It's all about moving away from transactions and towards something called intents. And what is an intent? It's actually a beautifully simple idea. An intent is just you stating what you want to happen, your desired outcome, but without getting into the weeds of how it has to happen. You just say what you want, and you let the network figure out the best how.
And here's the crazy part. This super futuristic sounding concept, it's actually grounded in something that's been around forever. Intents are as old as markets themselves. I mean, think about a medieval villager trying to trade a fish for a chicken. He wasn't coding a smart contract. He was just expressing his intent, his desired outcome. It's that simple. And this really gets to the core of why this is such a big shift. In the old world of transactions, the burden is all on you. You have to find the right smart contract, follow a rigid set of steps, and hope it all works. But in the new world of intents, you just state your goal. Then a network of solvers competes to find the absolute best, most efficient way to make that goal a reality for you.
Okay, that all sounds pretty cool in theory, right? But what does it actually mean in practice? Why is this so revolutionary for just the average person trying to use crypto, or for the developers trying to build on it? For you, the user, the experience becomes just ridiculously simple. No more babysitting transactions, no more worrying about gas fees or finding the right bridge or stressing about slippage. You literally just say what you want, click a button, and you can walk away. The network takes care of the rest. For real. And these intent can be incredibly powerful. You could say something like, I want to swap 500 USDC for ETH, but I only want the trade to go through if I can get a better price than Coinbase by at least 0.2%. You're setting specific, personal conditions. The network then goes to work to meet that exact preference, protecting you from stuff like MEV and finding the optimal path all on its own.
And for developers, this is a total game changer. It unlocks whole new categories of apps that were just way too complicated to build before. You're talking about things like multi-party barter systems where people can trade anything for anything, truly private chat apps, or DeFi protocols that are naturally resistant to MEV. Intents become like these powerful Lego bricks you can combine in all sorts of new ways. So what's the end game here? Where does all this lead? Well, if Anoma succeeds, it points to a future where all the underlying complexity of crypto just melts away. It becomes invisible. I think this quote just nails it. The goal isn't to build more and more complex infrastructure that we all have to struggle to understand. The real goal is to build infrastructure that's so seamless, so good at its job, that you don't even realize it's there, you know? It just works. And that kind of leaves us with one final big question.
For so long, the focus in this space has been on building the next big chain, the next big piece of infrastructure. Anoma is challenging that whole idea by asking, what if we stop trying to build new chains to solve every little problem, and instead we just focus on building the actual apps and experiences that people want? Are we finally ready for that?